welcome to today's free webinar, an intro to options trading on the Lightspeed Trader platform. We are very thankful to have everyone join us today, looking to provide us with some questions and information that we can provide for users who are looking to trade options on the Lightspeed Trader platform. We are going to go into a lot of the basic functionality, show you where the different settings are and how to set custom defaults and configure your windows and layouts, and go through some questions at the end. So please stay with us and come along as we explore the platform here. Quick disclaimer, this presentation is for informational purposes only. Nothing presented today should be construed as investment advice or a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security or contract. Since we don't know everyone's investments objectives or risk tolerance, we are not endorsing any specific trading strategies. Security, derivative, and futures trading involves substantial risk of loss, is not suitable for all investors. Each investor must consider whether this is a suitable investment, since you may lose all or more than your initial investment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Lightspeed Financial Services Group is not affiliated with these third-party market commentator educators or service providers. Data, information, material. This content is provided for informational and educational purposes only. This content neither is nor should be construed as any offer, solicitation, or recommendation to buy or sell any securities or contracts. Any investment decisions made by the user through the use of such content is solely based on the user's independent analysis, taking into consideration your financial circumstances, investment objectives, and risk tolerance. Lightspeed Financial Services Group, LLC, does not endorse, offer, or recommend any of the services or commentary provided by this presentation or any of the market commentators or educators or service providers. Any information used to execute any trade strategy solely based on the independent analysis of the user. Thank you for bearing through that. For more information on a demo or open an account with Lightspeed, please contact us. My name is Rob Lipson. I am the VP of Business Development and Sales here at Lightspeed. My email address for direct contact, rlipson@lightspeed.com. You can also email sales@lightspeed.com. Call the sales line on our main number as well. It's extension 3 off of our main number. We're happy to help. You can request a demo. We can schedule training sessions. We can help you with your layout, your settings, any questions that you may have, and provide you with any helpful direction to help you with the account opening process, the account setup, and get you off and running with the Lightspeed software. Okay, we have a lot of resources on our website, including our previous webinars that you can view. Our live webinar section is where you can register. Be aware, this is the intro to options. We will have an advanced options webinar presentation next month as well, and you can always view all of our archived presentations. We save and record them all, so all of those are available on different topics as well. So please keep that in mind, that you can always view this again in the future, or if you miss a portion, you can always go back to it. Okay, so we have some topics we're looking to go through here, including the option data, the option order entry, and then how to configure some windows and default. So I'm going to go through the different topics we have, the different windows and settings. And certainly you guys could give me some questions as we go. If they're related to the topic at hand, I'll try to get them answered. If not, we'll save them for the end, or certainly I can try to address them outside of the program if they're not really relating exactly to the direction I'm going at the moment. So this is a basic layout that we have for the Lightspeed Trader software. Just to double check, can everyone see my shared screen okay? Make sure everyone's still awake. Okay, thank you, Robert. Yashi, great. Rodrigo, great. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I opened this through the layout menu, and I loaded a predefined layout that we offer through the layout menu. These are based on your monitor size, but they have some different functions. I chose the largest screen size, and I selected that. So you can see I can quickly switch from one layout to another. This one is more based on a general equities layout, and I'm going with the options layout here. Just give me one moment here. Looks like Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So back to the options one. Okay, so one of the best things about the Lightspeed software is the ability to customize and create and configure your own layouts. You can do so by opening up any new window, configuring the size, the fonts, the colors, and the settings. Each individual window is a free-floating window that you can move, resize, move on to other monitors, and configure. Each individual window has their own settings, and you can access that through the settings menu on the gear. So if I click on the gear, it's going to go to the appropriate settings menu for that window. This is a market maker quote box, so that's the market maker settings menu. I also have an order entry window open. You can see that brings me to the order entry settings. And then in addition, I have an orders window, I have a positions window, I have my option chain here as well, and an option level 2 window. You can open up any additional window through the new menu. You are going to be able to open up multiple option chains, multiple level 2 windows, option level 2 windows. So if I do want to view more than one, I certainly can do so, and I can view more than one chain. I can have them linked together, or I'm able to unlink as well. So I can have one chain set to one contract series of a different underlier, and the other chain as well. I can link them to a level 2 window, or they could be standalone. So I have the top chain linked here as well. So if I'm going to change that to Tesla, you can see that's going to update. Now, the ability to link is done through the top banner border of a window, either the order entry, a chart, or an option chain or option level 2. I right click, I go into link, and I select which level 2 window I want to link as well. So I'm choosing my quote window here. If I had more than one level 2 window, I could link my second chain to my second quote window. So if I choose that to be SPY, you can see if I choose on the bottom, I go to the diamond, the top chain will change. If I go to the top and I then go to my Qs, the bottom chain will update. So that's how you would do your initial linking. And you're able to, as I said, move these over to different windows and create your layouts based on your available screen size and how many different windows you are looking to open. So let's take a look here at my option chain. This is where you view each series of the underlying contract and the different contracts that are provided. You have the ability to select the month of the series or the date, the expiration date. So you can see we offer all dates, the near date, the near month, or each individual specific expiration. So if I just want to see all dates, I can do so, and I can see a list of each series. I can choose the near date. I can choose the near month to get everything that would be for the next bunch of series within a month time frame. I can then choose the strike price that I want to have it based off of. If I want to go near money, it's going to go 6 contracts from the in the money, out of the money pivot point. I can increase that through this window here. So now I'm viewing 10. So I can even make this a little bigger for now. You can see I'm getting 10 contracts for each series in and out of the money with a slight shading to show which are in and which are out of the money. I can change that if I want all prices. I can view every single contract that I have for this each series. So you can view all that information, but we try to limit it at first because you don't really need to view, 10 contracts seems to be quite a bit at one time. But if I did want a specific strike to go, I can also go for that strike. So the Q is 309. Let's say I'm interested in a 320 strike and I want the near date. So this is expiring on the 18th. I have my strike at 320 in the middle, which would be right here. And you can see then I have a total of 10 contracts that are pretty much floating around this strike that I have determined. So I get from 315 to 324, 10 total contracts with that information. So a lot of ways to customize your chain. You can just view one date, one price, one strike, or a bunch of series, a bunch of dates. That, all that's configurable. If I click on the gear of my option chain, that's going to bring me to the available data columns that I can configure. We have a lot of different data that is available that may not be displayed, but you can enable and configure. So if I do want to see previous volume, I do want to see the open, or I want to see the bid and ask size on my chain, I can include all that information. And there's even different data categories. So if I want to see anything that's changed from the open, that's available. If I want to enable Greek data, I can enable that. I click on it, I click add. If I want to look at my volatility as well, just click on those two columns. I hit OK. You can see I just added my delta and my volatility column. I can go into my options tab here. We can go into the expiration days to expiration. We can go in and out of the money amounts here, intrinsic value. So there's a lot of data that's not shown that we have here, open interest. So you just have to be able to configure and customize. Now, if you don't have the Greek data, all you have to do is send a quick email to our service desk to enable it. As a standard account, there's no additional cost for the Greeks, but it's something we just have to enable. So just send a quick email in, and we can have that enabled right away for you on your next login and off. So you can see I hit OK, and the different data columns here, 2 days to expiration, my in the money, out of the money. All these are still out of the money. There's open interest still in these categories here as well. So very easy to customize your option chain here. Now, if I do click, I'm interested in the December 320 call. I'm going to click on that. I double click, it's going to populate my option level 2 window. You can see on the top, it specifies the contract, 320 call, December 18 expiration. I can modify this through the chain. If I really want to then go out a series or change the strike, I can do that. If I want to change it to the put as well, I can then flip that as well. So you can modify the option chain, or you can click it from the option chain or modify the option level 2 window as well. In the same manner, the Greeks would be enabled. You can see this area here. If you can see my mouse, let's see if everyone could see that okay. We have the Greeks here. You can see we have the delta, gamma, theta, vega, all on the top line there. So that would be enabled on your level 2 window. You can see we have our bid side and the offer side and the price and the exchange that it's offered. You can see we also have the level 2 data here as well. And the ability to display the option order entry form as well. So if I click on a tier, I could see if I click on the 5 cents, this changes to 5 cents in my price field. If I click on 7, it will change to 7. So you can quickly queue up the current price based on where you're clicking. Now, you simply would adjust your quantity. You're going to choose your order type, limit, market, stop, and you can use our smart route, or you can preference an exchange if you do like. Most people are very happy with our smart routing. It's very fast, it's very aggressive. It's minimal interaction from our route providers, but certainly you have the option for selecting an exchange to route to. There are additional costs for this type of routing, so you do have to be aware of that on a per contract level. But simply, let's just say I'm going to use the smart route. I'm going to buy a contract at 7 cents. I click buy. I can choose to have my confirmation, or I can just remove it and have a one-click entry. But for display purposes, I like to show you guys what is being configured here. So I'm buying one contract of the 320 call expiring on the 18th for 7 cents. This is going to tell me the inside bid and ask. It's giving me the time and force for the day and my buying power requirement. So that would be 7 cents times 100. which would be $7. Since this system operates on a multiple, my buying power is based on 4 times cash. It takes out 4 times the buying power requirement. So that's going to be $7 times 4 equals 28. So essentially, when you're queuing up an option order in a margin account, you just have to divide your buying power by 4 to determine what the cash value of that premium or the option is. So this would be a $7 value, but in buying power terms, it's $28. I click yes, that order goes through. We can see in my order window that immediately turned green and executed, buying 1 out of 1 on my quantity fields. I also get a message in my messages window, opening 1 contract at 7 cents. And now this position is now also displayed in my positions window. So the cycle goes from a quick message, the orders, to the position. You can see now I have a open P&L based on the bidder offer or the midpoint. You can configure your P&L off of that choice. And then I have the ability to close that as well. I can either right click, I can close out as a portion of the contract. This would sell at the market. I can choose to put it into my complex order forms, which I'll show in a little bit here and go through some options there as well. So buying and selling your basic option, that's all you need to do. You find the contract you're looking for, you populate your order entry form, and then you are closing it, entering the position. If I do want to close it, let's say I'm looking to sell something higher, I'm going to sell at 10 cents. That just put an open order out there. We can see I have an order in white in my orders window. This is selling the contract at 10 cents. We are in after hours, and this is a demo, so you're not always going to get the movement and executions in the demo as you would in live accounts. So unfortunately, we're not going to see much movement on these contracts since it's after hours, and the P&L isn't going to really show us much, but the ability to generate these orders is really what's important for you guys. If I want to cancel an order, I can right click to cancel or modify it or increase or decrease by a penny. If I want to modify, I can change it here if I wanted to in my complex form, or if I just click on the X here, that will cancel the order. You can see in my messages window, I get a URL message that indicates that order is canceled. But that doesn't mean the position is closed. That just means that order came back with a cancel confirmation. Big difference between canceling and closing. So once again, you would open up any window through the new menu, option level 2, option chain, option time and sales, even if I want to look at the prints going off on this particular series. If you don't see the option order entry form on the bottom of your level 2, you just have to enable it. So if I go to hide order ticket, it's not there. If I right click, I go to show order ticket, that places the order box on the bottom of the level 2. Same with the Greeks. If you don't see it, just right click, show Greeks. If I want to show position, you can see that shows the position in the top here, position 1 at 7 cents. And then you can change fonts and colors on any of these windows. So if I did want to change any of the colors, any of the labels, any of the fonts, all that is has the ability to change. If I want to change the colors of my level 2, I can do so as well. So a quick question here, how do I place a stop order? So you can see I do have the ability to change my limit order type to a stop. So I simply would put in a price here and a stop order, sell stop at 3 cents. And you can see that would be a pending order and would only trigger to sell once that 3 cents was the last traded price. So you can do a limit as a profit target, or I can do a stop order as a exit order as well. Options are only available with Lightspeed during regular market hours, 9:30 to 4. We don't offer any extended hours for options trading. Okay, so let's go into some of the defaults here on the option level 2. You can show the prints, you can show the Greeks, you can show your positions as your default, show your order ticket. You can show hot buttons as well. So you can do different commands and customization for hotkeys and hot buttons and custom orders that will be available on options. And we also have our order entry settings. You can default your quantity. If I always want to trade 5 contracts to populate, if I always want a limit order through Smart, that would be available as well. If I always want to default my order price, let's say I'm typically very aggressive, I always want the ask price to be populated on a new contract. I can do that so I don't have to do an adjustment. I will get this populated to the current offer at all times. If I want to click on other commands, you can do so, market or quantity, and cancel button, cancel all orders or last order, then buy on the right or left. So just as an example here, if I change contracts, you can see this now changed to 5 contracts as my default. And then the offer price, 13 cents, populated my limit price. So it's just a quick way to queue up how you want your order defaults to go through your order entry settings. Style, this would be the labels and the background colors, as I showed before. Layout, you can configure the top portion of your level 2 window to show additional information. Let's just say I want to put the bid and the ask on the top portion as well for easy reference. If I wanted to put open interest, or if I wanted to put where the equity closed, all this information here, equity last, is there currently, so you can see where the underlier traded, and then equity volume, equity change. So all these different columns can be configured. So let's see, I just put the bid ask of this contract on the top right. So it's another way to reference information in a different area. Then we have our hot buttons and commands. So you can create hot buttons and custom commands to bypass your order entry window. This is going to be covered more in detail in our advanced course that we're going to do next month, but just quickly, you can see we have some pre-defaults here. Let's just say I want to have cancel all for options, one that we've already created. I will just put that in there. So I have my cancel all button. And once I'm on that contract, that cancel would work. I did change the contract. That's why it didn't cancel it. So it would cancel all for that one particular option. But there's a bunch of different combinations you can do for your cancels. And then there are different ways to do your commands. I can do a buy or sell. I can have a default order. We'll just do one very quickly here. Buying will say 5 contracts as a market order. I can send to market. So we'll just say buy 5 MKT. Try again. That didn't like it. Send to market, buy 5, market, buy 5. So I add that. I now have a new command. I can either change it, put this as a hot button on my hot button bar. I can put it on a hot button window with my other hot button orders. So if I go to my hot button, select buy 5, I click add, I now have a button for buy 5. I quickly hit it, buy 5. It's going to queue up. Even though this has a limit order at 7 cents, this is going to go in as a buy 5 as a market order. So I can quickly enter these orders, and there's different ways to set up exits through these as well. So we can see in my regular hot button window, I can have that added here as well. So if I click on a different contract, I click buy 5, it will do the same command, buying 5 at the market. And then I can also assign any of these hot commands as a key. So if I go to, let's just say, Control 5, I'm going to go to my custom orders, and the one we just created, buy 5, is there. So there's just so many ways to use the program for customization and for order entry. So right now I've configured Control 5. We'll go on another contract. Let's just, we'll just say SPY. We'll go into the We'll go into the near money contract. We'll say the 370. I'm going to click on. You can see, even though this has a limit, I can even change this to one contract. But if I do my control 5, I immediately bypass that, and I'm buying 5 at the market for SPY. So a lot of ways to configure. Okay, option time and sales. You can view, nothing's trading at the moment, so not much to show there, but it would just go off on the time and tick, price, contract, and price. So, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can configure these to different colors as well. So, that's the basic order entry on the options. There's additional ways to do different commands and different features. Another window that we do offer would be the complex options order entry. This is a way to send multiple orders, multi-leg orders at the same time. Also, you can do combination equity and option at the same time as well. So, for example, we're going to go into my SPY. I want to add an equity leg. I can buy 100 shares of SPY, and then I can also sell a covered call at the same time. So I can go call, I can do expiration January, strike 376, and then I can choose where to sell it. So I'm buying 100 shares of the equity, and I'm selling the covered call on the same leg here. So once again, hit go. You're only going to have the margin requirement on this would be for the purchasing of the equity. There's no requirement on the covered call, but you can see here, it calculates it together. I hit yes, both execute at the same time. So I now are long the stock and short the call. In my positions window, I can also right click, I can group together. So if I want to group by underlier, we can see that splits up the Qs that I did and then the SPYs that I did. So you can see I have different positions in each one here as well. So I have 100 shares, the short call, the long the calls I did previously, and then I have separated the Qs calls that we did as well. So good way to do that. With the complex options, there's different strategies you can do here as well. Let's go to a new contract to do a new one here. If I want to select 2 contracts, I can highlight them with the control button. I right click, I can add my strategy as a debit or credit spread. We can see that's going to populate. I'm buying the 270 and I'm selling the 280. I'm paying the difference, the 633, that's the difference between the buy and the sell, and it calculates it for you. And then we also have the risk graph on the bottom of the portion. You can see where the break-even point lies, which is right around the middle here, plus the take into account what you're paying. So then the break-even starts to come around here, and then I get my max profit would be at the 280 portion. Then my max loss would be down here. So you can see the price points where your strategy turns from positive to negative. If I hit go, it's going to send all the order together, buying one, selling one, giving you the buying power requirement, and going through. And then that pairs it off as well. You can see the Facebook now in there as well. Tom was just asking, how do you close a position? Any way you'd like. You can use the order entry form. You can use the positions window. Right click to close out of all or a portion of a position. You can use your hot buttons. You can use your hotkeys. Let's just say I have my position here. I can say close out in COE. That's going to populate and put it on the opposite side for me to sell. And I can sell the quantity here, 6. So it immediately populates my complex if I want to make any adjustments. Otherwise, if I right click to sell, that's going to be market order. This will allow me to do it as a limit order here as well. complex options. If I click on the gear, there's a lot of settings here as well. You can have your defaults, ordered route, order type, buy, sell. Do I want any buy to go in as a bid or buy to go in as the ask or the ask, or auto updating so it can peg to the bid or peg to the ask. And as the bid or ask moves, so will my limit price. So that's the auto update. It's a nice feature here. So I'm going to buy the ask and sell the bid. You can have single, multi-leg, and then there's a chain double click. So even if I just double click on my chain, it's going to populate my order entry. So if I clear that out, double click, double click. Now, if you see here, that populates quickly. If I click on my chain here, and I click on the bid, that goes in as a sell order. If I click on the ask, that goes in as a buy order. So quick ways to enter through that option chain into the complex option form. And then you can change any of your faults as well. Okay, so how are we doing so far? You guys got the hang of it? So it's really going through your options chain, really selecting your underlier. This would really be your first step. So we'll go back to Facebook. Then I go to my chain. I decide what contract I'm looking at. I can populate my single leg on the option level 2 or my complex order entry and populate more than one contract there as well. I can choose a debit or credit spread up to 4 legs if I want a butterfly or a calendar, a butterfly for or a multi-legged strategy, or just a regular debit credit spread or a calendar spread there. And once you populate the buy or the sell, it's going to tell you if it's a debit or credit, and then you can place that order. Track your orders in the orders window. You enter and view your positions, and then you can manage your positions through a variety of ways to close, enter, exit positions. Another nice window that we've added recently would be the options most active window. So this is a way for you to view different contracts that are trading actively on the day. So you can see here, I can expand this a little bit, has a lot of data available. You can see the SPYs are leading the pack here, then Apple. Here it tells you what the volume is, the previous close, the price now, how many trades, the open interest, previous volume versus current volume. So these really did trade a lot here today, the 370 puts. And then we have different data categories as well. Most unusual volume. So that's really showing you what previous volume versus today's volume, the HYG, that hardly traded yesterday, but today there's a lot of contracts traded. So it's always good to take a look to see what's moving in the markets. You can see what big money is trading, where the money is flowing, and it gives you some idea generation and gives you a direction on which way people believe the markets are moving and what contracts are trading actively if you do want to trade some active contracts. We also have the most active underliers. You see what underliers are trading the most actively, then chances are the options are going to be pretty active. Like SPY and Apple usually lead the pack as the most volume, and then their option volume is very active. You can see we show the volume, the put volume, the call volume, open interest, previous volume. And then we have our imbalanced underliers. We have unusual volume on the underliers, anyone that's breaking out a high volume pattern versus previous, something like BLMNN, or anything that's showing a large increase in volume. Trades on the underlier, most trades. volume last 5 minutes. So this will give you what's moving in the last 5 minutes for the underlier or for most volume, most trades as well. So it's a great way to view that. So that's essentially the topics and the settings I was looking to cover here today. There's a lot more to go through as far as setting up different windows and linking, having multiple chains open, and the ability to set up some customized commands and more complex features. So that's what we'll go over more on the next one. I'll go over a lot more on the complex ways to create and your entry and exits for the commands and the complex. But that's a nice overview of what the platform does for options. It's very simple, but you can really increase the efficiency and effectiveness of how you're managing your orders and positions as you're able to customize. Do we have some questions here? Because we don't really have much more to go through. That's really what you're looking for. Of course, you can always request a demo if you do want to test out the program a little bit more and configure some of these features and test out the program. So go into the Lightspeed website, try a demo, and then if you put in your information, select the platform, you can request a demo here. Some other resources on the website. We go through our rates here. We start at 60 cents per contract. We don't have a ticket charge. There is a $1 minimum on a one contract trade, but there's no ticket charge. So it's only going to be per contract. If it's a multi-leg order, it's only going to be per contract as well. You can view other platforms we offer besides Lightspeed Trader. You can also view, we have an options trading guide. You can understand the basic option strategies here as well. So this is a nice resource that we provide. You can, if you put in your information, you'll get this sent over for you. You can helps you calculate different calculations on the values and then the break evens and the strategy. So very nice resource that we provided here, along with some other education that we have, options. We have a whole bunch of glossary strategies and information here as well. Couple questions here I see. Fastest way to set up a stop in connection with a market order really would be to go through your commands. So I can create a very quick command for a stop, and I can do it at the bid. Let's just say minus 10 cents. So if I'm willing to take a loss of 10 cents, I can do a closeout. So it's going to be a sell stop for 10 cents. So I have that command here. So if I then add this command to the hot button bar as well, I have my stop 10. So immediately, let's just do a new one quickly here. Tilray. I have 7.5 calls. I immediately buy 5 at the market. As soon as I execute, I'm going to sell stop. Maybe I didn't do it right. I didn't do it. I sent the order ticket, not sent to market. So if I update that, so stop immediately sells the 5 position that I have as a stop. So, and I can do that as a hotkey or hot button, but immediately, as soon as I enter in the position, we'll try it again, show you how quick you can do it. Facebook, 290, buy 5. As soon as I enter, I can now stop for 10 cents below it. So I can place a stop as soon as I enter in the position. So they are separate orders, but you can do it very quickly here. The complex options window is available if you're permissioned and enabled for options trading. So you can do a single leg from that window for order entry if you like it better than the option level 2 window. So there's no additional permission for having the options order entry, complex options, but certain levels of approval are based on different factors. So you can be approved for buying calls and puts, you can be approved for spreads or selling naked positions based on different factors on your application. We do offer cash accounts as well instead of margin, so you can open up a cash option account, certainly. So you can trade on an cash basis and not go into any margin, but options are non-margin as well. So, I mean, you can set on a, so here's my spread here, close out, I can say close out in the CBOE, but we don't offer stops on spreads. So you will just have to do limits for your spread orders. We don't offer stop orders. Well, someone asked, is there a dynamic stop? Essentially, if I cancel, let's just say this option's going well in your favor. If I cancel my stop and I place a new one, it's still going to go off of the current bid. So as that bid increases, my stop is going to go in as well below the bid, the new bid. So it really tracks the market and going to go in off of the bidder offer. So if the bidder offer changes and you place a new order, it's going in at that current market price. So that really is a dynamic way to enter it, as long as you cancel your open orders. Someone looking for that option guide again, that's in our education. So go to resources, education, and then there's the option guide here as well, and our FAQs and information here. So if you are not that familiar and you want to learn more about options, this is a good place to start getting started. What is an option? Going through it, requesting a demo, buying one option, learning how the profit and loss relates to the underlying stock, how that option trades. So you can really start to learn by using our demo and our resources to just learn, time erosion versus delta effect. Very important. The time erosion will always decay, and as it's coming closer to expiration and an option will lose value. You do need to understand how that works as the option is being priced. So, all that information is something you learn over time, and how an option relates to the underlying stock versus the time erosion of the expiration of that contract. So, there's a lot that make up the option components in trading. So certainly that this is a good place to start, is learning more about options with these terms and definitions, and certainly there's other resources out there as well on the web to learn along those lines. So there's stops available. Trailing stops would not be available on options, only regular stops. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be our mark here. 45 minutes is what I was looking to do. I really thank you guys for joining and some great questions here. If you do have more questions, feel free to email me or our sales team if you want a demo session personally to help you with customizing windows, settings, or orders. We're happy to do so. My email is rlipson@lightspeed.com, RLIVSON @lightspeed.com, or just email our general desk, sales@lightspeed.com. I hope you guys were able to get something out of it. If you're still a little confused on something I said, if I went too fast, just give us a call, shoot us an email. We're happy to help. But I thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hope everyone stays safe. And we hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.